Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Matt Law has confirmed that Chelsea today will announce and confirm that Frank Lampard has been sacked as the Chelsea manager. It is reported that the man knows he's on his way out. Maybe that kind of explains his sort of incestuous sort of captaincy being given yesterday to Mason Mount. But Frank Lampard is no longer the Chelsea manager. I want your instant reaction to this. A lot of people saw it coming. The writing seemed to be on the wall. It really, really did. But Frank Lampard sacked as Chelsea manager. We're going to open up the lines for you to come on and have your say. We're going to share the link on our Discord server on the general chat page. So make sure you're on that. Hit the like and share button right about now. Live comments coming through plenty. Kevin here says Lampard out with fire. Look at that. Sit the F down, Simon Jordan. Breaking news, Frank Lampard will be fired as Chelsea manager today, reports the Telegraph. Absolutely. Matt Law, and I'll show you the tweet in a moment, has said exclusive, Frank Lampard to be sacked by Chelsea, confirmed today. And it is trending already. It is already trending, ladies and gentlemen. This is big, 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 big news. I want to hear from you. I want you to phone the show. Sorry, I'm typing and talking at the same time here. I need to hear from you. But he is sacked, sitting there 8th in the league table. It's going to be done today. Is that Rafa Benitez news anything to do with you? Or will it be Thomas Tuchel? Get your super chats in as well, people. Mo here says, God damn, it's peak for Lampard. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible for Lampard. But we knew it was coming, didn't we? We absolutely knew that this was coming. Absolutely knew that this was coming. Get Rafa back in. Terry's voice has gone from yesterday. Yeah. Oh, Daz here thinks it's a mistake. Well, we will see. We will see how things pan out. But what I need from you right now is to hit that like and share button, people. We're going to get this out on the Discord server very soon. Yes, I know there was a spelling mistake on Lampard's name in the title. That has been updated. Mark Peoples here, one of our members, says Tuchel incoming. And it very much could be. It very much could be a case of that. It could very much be a case of that indeed. Let me share with you the tweet from Matt Law. I'm going to go and find that now. And then we'll have a little taste. We'll have a little look. We'll have a little look at what's being said here. But this is a tweet from Matt Law where he says Frank Lampard to be sacked by Chelsea. Confirmation expected today. Click on the link here in the Telegraph. Just bear with me a second. It'll give you a bit of basic information here. I have to reshare my screen. It doesn't allow you to do that, does it? What I should actually do is just share the whole screen. Should I? Yeah, I'll just share the whole screen, and then that way when I change, it'll work out. So here's the article in itself that's well worth reading. It says Frank Lampard is set to be sacked by Chelsea less than 24 hours after the club's victory over Luton. Confirmation could come as soon as today after Chelsea players were told not to report to the training ground until this afternoon. That's the big bit there. The players told not to come in. I think what stands out to me when I read this is yesterday he gave Mason Mount that captain's armband, didn't tell him it was coming, kind of just pegged it onto his kit. That's almost like a thank you for all your hard work, Mason. I love you, but I'm off. I'm about to leave. I'm going to be gone. That seems to be the case here. But Chelsea fans, how are you thinking? How are you feeling? We're going to go to your reaction and get you on very, very soon indeed. But I need you all hitting the like. Tuchel inbound. Tuchel's on his way. I think Tuchel's going to happen. Oh, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted as well. What has Fabrizio said? We're going to go and get that for you right now as well. Let me stop sharing that screen for just a moment. You don't need to see that. Google's up. We're going to get is it Tuchel? Is Tuchel on his way? We're going to get you this breaking news right now. Don't go anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted, and he says, Allegri has never been in touch with the Chelsea board. Thomas Tuchel has been offered many times, and he is the favourite as the German manager. It is going to be him. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a man like Tuchel. Chelsea Football Club definitely watched my recent video about Tuchel's tactics. If you haven't seen that yet, go and check it out. It's on the Football Terrace homepage. But here is what Fabrizio has said this morning. Tuchel's incoming. Chelsea fans, you're going to get Thomas Tuchel, it seems. The man in the know, Fabrizio, has confirmed it there. I want your instant reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Get this done right now. We're going to open up the lines, though, for you to call in and have your say. I'm going to share the link now on the Discord server. So I need to see you here. I need to see you here. I need to see you get involved. Maybe I need to start. I can't even talk properly. I'm so excited about this news. Man United killing it yesterday. Boom. Let me just type this in now. If you're on the Discord server, get yourself across to the Discord server now. I'm going to share this with everybody. Every little thing is going to be all right. Frankie Lampard. He just got sacked. It's a results-driven business. It absolutely is. It absolutely is a results-driven business. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. Where are my Chelsea boys at? Where are my Chelsea guys at? David, Anita, where are you all? I need to hear from you now. I need to hear from you guys. I need to hear from you all right about now. Let's do some of these comments here. Is Tuchel going to be Unai Emery 2.0? I don't think so. First caller of the day, we've got CFC Beast with us here. Chelsea fan. Lampard's been sacked. It's not confirmed, but the players have been told.
I'm happy about this. Finally, we're gonna have it's gonna help the German players especially. I think it was good from them to do it as they've done it now, so we can still salvage our season. Obviously, Lampard might become a great manager, but I think with the thing that we're getting Tuchel now, might help us and it might get us top four, which a lot of us want. So this is going to be tough for most of us, as we all know. Lampard he's like Chelsea great, but more importantly, you support the club and not the players. So club first.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important that the club comes first. He isn't hitting the ground. He hasn't hit the ground running this season. He's had a lot of money spent, but hasn't sort of capitalized on that in many ways. So in my opinion, absolutely right. He has got to go. Listen, bro, thank you for coming on. Next on the show, we've got man like Zane. Zane's here. Zane, what's your instant reaction to seeing Chelsea sack Frank Lampard this morning?
I called it start with Jan. It's no surprise, to be fair, because he hasn't actually got the qualifications or the experience. I mean, I have talked about this before, regards to the fact that when he did retire, he didn't actually manage any academy games. He just went straight into the Derby job, and then obviously he got the big job at Chelsea. And you can see the way he's been reacting. Like, he hasn't got the management skills. You don't really throw your players under the bus. Jose can, because he's got years and years experience, but the fact that he's throwing players under the bus, he's also attacking journalists. I'll go back to the point I made I think last week. You cannot say he's naive, because man's got a degree. He's got a successful book a business as well that he does, those children books. The man's intelligent, and frankly, he thought he could walk this. And the fact that he didn't actually get a proper number two in to support him. I mean, Ollie's got Mike Phelan. Who's he got? Jody Morris. What has Jody Morris done in the world? Unfortunately, this guy thought Uncle Harry would help him out and actually get somewhere. But in reality, the facts are he's gone in there without any support, and he thought he could do the job. And clearly, he's been found out, because a lot of the Chelsea fans have been complaining about the odd choices, playing people at position, and the fact that there's revolt going on with the players. You can see there's a lot of sniping in the background, and a lot of them aren't happy. So, all in all, how would anyone expect Frank to actually make a success for it? I mean, Terry, could you see anything that he's done for him to guarantee that he would be an extra success? Because I cannot see anything.
No, listen, I agree with you. I don't think he's been a success. It was an experiment, and they took on a fledgling manager we all said that he would have moments where he would struggle. What Chelsea fans told us is that they were going for this new approach and they were going to allow him to make the mistakes. They were going to allow him to cut his teeth in this job. And none of us agreed. None of us agreed that that would be the case. We all pointed out that Chelsea Football Club at some point would sack him if the results weren't right, especially after a transfer window where he spent £250 million. Plus, he still had last season the £60 million signing of Pulisic and the £40 million signing of Kovacic. So it wasn't like in his first season, he didn't have two new players join. I know Kovacic was there the year before on loan, but they had to pay 40 million to keep him. The club said, look, we're not doing that. He would have been a man short. If they didn't sign Pulisic, there'd have been another man short. So, over £300 million of new players were injected into this Lampard team. And they have, and they've progressively gone backwards. Zane, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. We're going to get more callers on. Next up, we've got Chelsea fan Josh. Josh, welcome to the show. What do you want to say, mate? Lampard sacked.
Fam, I don't know how to feel, I was talking to my friends yesterday about this, and I was like, Lampard is on a game-to-game basis, yeah. But I feel like it came too quick. But then, if you asked me this question, last week, I would be like, he has to go now. So, I'm so confused, especially after yesterday's game and that, I don't know how to feel about it. But, yeah, man, the results have not been good enough. So, it's an understandable decision. And for next manager, I'm really excited to see who we get because really and truly, I don't really want Tuchel because at PSG, it was kind of a mess. I'd rather have Nagelsmann, but we can't really get him right now. So I thought the best plan was to wait. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I understand your point. I think the reason they decided not to wait is the season's still salvageable. Honestly, if Tuchel comes in and you click, if you won 4 or 5 games on the bounce, you would legitimately be back in a title race. You're not. No, you would. You've got the squad for it. You have got a squad that if it plays good enough football, you've got one of the best centre-backs in the world. You've got 2 excellent fullbacks, as an example. You've got excellent midfielders. You've got attacking class seeping from Chelsea. Lampard just wasn't able to get it to galvanise. And I think, as the previous caller Zane said, I think he damaged a lot of relationships with players in terms of outing them in public. And I think he lost that dressing room. If Tuchel comes in and galvanises it, I think he could do a wonderful job. Josh, thanks for calling in, bro. Really appreciate it. Next up, I know this man will be excited. It's man like Kai is with us, not Zane. Kai is with us. Lampard sacked. Give me your reaction, bro.
What a lovely morning it is today. Ooh. Terry, the war is done. The Lampard outers have won. 25th of January will be remembered as the day that Chelsea stopped competing with West Ham and Aston Villa for top 4 places, man. What a day, man. Glorious, glorious day, man.
You seem really happy.
I am, because finally the standards of Chelsea football clubs can go back to what they were, rather than an emotional little love fest that we had with a manager who's clearly out of his depth. I thank him for the top 4 that he got us last season. I thank him for Reece James, Tammy Abraham, and Mason Mount. But the reality is, it was coming. It was coming, and it's justified. If any Chelsea fan who can come to me and argue with me objectively why it's not justified, I would lovely take it. I would lovely debate it. But so far, based on the relationship he built with players, based on the relationships he had with the media, based on the relationship he had with the board, based on the things that happen on the pitch, it is clearly justified.
Listen, I understand where you're coming from. Do you know what I say? It's 2 things. It's clearly justified based on Chelsea's model, based on Roman's history and the activities that go on at Chelsea Football Club when a manager spends money and they struggle. Nothing happening right now to Lampard should be a shock to any football fan at all, because this is how you behave. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong in this conversation. It's just how you are. The people that are in the mud today are all the sort of Lampard sexuals, all of the people that, I don't know. I mean, I got attacked by these people regularly last year for saying that, oh, what if Lampard has a bad start after spending money? Do you think he'll keep his job? Yes, we've turned a corner. We know, look, we're not going to behave like that anymore. It's about building something over a 4 or 5 year plan. How stupid do you think all these Chelsea hipsters are feeling this morning?
You know what? They will probably be like, "Oh, I don't want the club. I'm giving away my season ticket," forgetting that there's a waiting list until as long as my family roots, waiting for someone to take their place. You know what? At the end of the day, Chelsea comes first, which is why I love this fucking football club. This is why I support this club for 20 years plus, because I love this club. And the reality is, Lampard was taking this club down. Our standards were dropping, and they can follow him emotionally. If they don't want to keep supporting Chelsea, then they can follow him. No man is ever bigger than the club.
Hey, listen, 110%. I agree with you, bro. Thanks for coming back on the show. Love you as always. Take care, Kai.
Take care, Terry. Take care.
Thank you. Next up, we've got Meds on the show. Meds, welcome back. Lampard is sacked. I know it hasn't been officially confirmed, but Matt Laws, Fabrizio tweeting about it. It's over. It's done. Give me your instant reaction, bro.
Yeah, just kind of, although I was Lampard out, it's kind of sad the way it ended up. To be honest, this whole situation occurred because of naivety, not just from Lampard, but the club itself. I think going back to his particular appointment, I know there was a bit of a hype train with the Ole success going on at the time and gelling the fans together, but I think that it was a risk, but taken by the club, but it wasn't a calculated risk because the guy only had less than 12 months at the time in management, and we just didn't have the profile of squad for him to manage. I mean, if we had more established players, players who can bail him out. Like I feel like sometimes, although United might not be playing well, they have those individuals like the Pogba's on his day, or Fernandes on his day. Our squad was too inexperienced and too young to bail Lampard out of his inexperiences in terms.
Yeah, no, I understand that. No, I do. So I think it has. It's just the approach. Again, hindsight's always lucrative. If you look back at it, you've hired a fledgling manager. You've got him. You've added all these Chelsea Academy players that are inexperienced. You've then had one of the biggest overhauls. And I will go back to something I said a few weeks ago. I understand why he's being sacked. It's what Roman does. Yeah. I still think a new manager is going to take time to get this group to gel because they're new to playing with one another. You might see Tuchel come in and get a spike 2, 3, 4 games. But you could, I think Chelsea fans need to also be be of the mindset that, you could then see the next manager struggle to get this team to gel for the rest of the season, and time needs to be given. Tuchel is now kind of tipped to be the replacement. What's your reaction to Tuchel being the favourite?
I mean, to be honest, like I said, I don't really know much about Tuchel because I don't really watch a lot of the football in France or Germany. But I mean, it just goes down. It's not really. I don't really care about like the high-profile managers. I just want a manager who's kind of capable of at least doing the basics right. Clearly Tuchel is. If you look, I mean, I've been YouTubing a lot of his stuff. His work with Mainz, and Dortmund, even PSG. He's a manager who's like, he's not tactically inept. He's got his basics down, the core of football, the core of management, things like just having a compact midfield where we don't just get bypassed, just keeping a shape to a team, organization. I mean, I work in accountancy, so I'm an assistant manager, so I know what it requires to get the best out of people. You assign people based on their strengths and their qualities to put particular roles in the workplace, and I feel like that some of that can be transferred to football as well. So just that organization, just bring organization. I back Tuchel. I don't know how it's going to pan out in the long term, but
I think he's definitely going to have more experience. Bro, thank you for coming on the show again, mate. And great points made. Thank you. Smash the like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Lampard. It isn't confirmed directly from Chelsea, but Matt Law, Fabrizio Romano confirming that Lampard is on his way out. The players have been told not to come into training until this afternoon. It looks like it will be confirmed at some point later this morning, but Frank Lampard relieved of his Chelsea duties, according to major reports from the Telegraph this morning. We want your instant reaction. Share this stream now on all your social media platforms. Blue here says, at the end of the day, it's not a good cycle to be back into. We've seen this in the past. The new manager coming in, they'll do decent after 1 year, then underperform, and the fans start to call for the manager to be sacked. Does anybody think that this is a bad decision by Lampard? We want to hear from you. We've shared the link on our Discord server for you to come on and have your say. I will, if you're watching and you're on the Discord server, repost that link to everybody, please. Keep posting that link. We want to get in as many callers as possible. So far, nobody said that it's a bad decision. Apart here from Blue with these amazing super chat. Thank you. Get your super chats in. Get your member comments in as well. We're going to be switching to member only soon on comments because we're getting so many come through. Brandon here says, this is why Chelsea will finish above Arsenal. They act like a big club when things aren't going right, whilst we are happy languishing in 10th. So this decision today seems to be triggering Arsenal fans as well. Next up on the show, we're going to have GCA TV. Man like Ads is here. Ads, welcome back to the terrace. Lampard sacked. Give me your instant reaction.
Bro, I mean, what can I say, man? I think it's just, you know what, it's a bit, I'll get into that later, but what I'm going to say is Lampard, did he do a good job at Chelsea? No. I think he did an okay job in getting the players in. I think that's a very important job to get the right players in. When obviously the spots that haven't been fulfilled are just not been filled. Bring these players in, do they gel straight away? Of course they're not going to. I think him getting sacked, it's a bit sad. But the one thing I don't like is, the ones who is saying that we can win the league at the start of the season, now that they're really, 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 really happy that he's leaving. People are forgetting this guy has been at the club for over 21 years. I know he was a player, and he's not a player now, he's a manager. But have a little bit of respect, man. Have a bit of class, have a bit of character. Actually say that it's sad to see him go, but he needs to, instead of saying, oh, yeah, I'm really glad he's going. And, I see people on Twitter already celebrating. Is that the Chelsea way as fans? I'm glad I'm not a Chelsea fan. I think their fan base is actually full of disgraceful people who need to actually get a life and understand that this guy's at your club for over 21 years representing your team and your badge. He stepped into the role of manager. It didn't come off well. Congratulate him for what he did, bringing these players in, and I'll let a proper manager utilize them well. You know what I'm trying to say? Just accept that he's not the man, but just still give him respect.
Listen, I understand that, and I think you make a good point. Chelsea fans, you got to remember that the younger Chelsea fans, especially, they've only ever known this approach. They've only ever known this way of behaving, this way of being, this way of doing things. Does that make sense? So I think for them, it's that they behave in that way. The older Chelsea fans seem a little bit more, I wouldn't say disgusted, but seem a little bit more frustrated by these types of things. But, oh, hang on. Wow. Confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Thomas Tuchel is set to become the new Chelsea manager. Confirmed.
Wow.
Tuchel is the new Chelsea manager. Confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. That has just come out now. Ads, thank you for phoning the show as ever. Pick up yourself. Chelsea fans, I want your reaction right now. Tuchel is going to be your new manager. It's announced. It's done. He doesn't get these things wrong, Fabrizio. Tuchel in, Lampard out. What a day for Chelsea Football Club. Genwin here says, was this a managerial career suicide by Frank Terry? What's next for him? I don't think it's suicide. I think he'll still become a very good manager. This has just been one step too far for him in many, many ways, I think. Next up on the show, we have got man like, we're going to go with next. We're going to go with man like Pav. Pav, welcome back to the show. Lampard stacked. Tuchel's in. Tell me what you're saying, bro.
It was kind of inevitable, wasn't it? Like, they've had a little break over the weekend, no Premier League games, so they've clearly been working and talking with Tuchel. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, maybe give Lampard more time, but you can clearly see it hasn't been working. And then when you've made so many signings, and a lot of them signings haven't worked as of now, there's something wrong. So bringing in Tuchel is probably the right option. Like you're saying, obviously you got the German links with obviously Havertz and Timo Werner, and obviously he's managed Thiago Silva for a number of years. So he's going into a club and a squad where he's got someone as a captain who he can already trust. So yeah, it is the right decision bringing in Tuchel. Like, I don't think any other manager at the moment, like people saying Rafa Benitez or Allegri, I don't think they would work. Like, they're kind of like not really attacking managers. They're more defensive minded. But yeah, I think like obviously the last caller, as just said, like obviously people being a bit disrespectful to Lampard. That's the kind of day and age you live in now. People don't really care about someone's legacy, what they've done.
Yeah.
They're just there they're just gonna spat out whatever they want to spat out. So like obviously he's been there. He's always going to be a legend for them. No one's ever going to take that away and can never do that. But it's the right decision. They need to move forward. They need to get the best out of these players. And yeah, people like I believe people like Mason Mount, some of the youngsters are probably going to be pushed to the back now. I don't think they're the sort of players these European managers will look to when you've got the likes of Ziyech and whatnot there.
Do you know what, bro? You make a good point, and I said this to Chelsea fans a few weeks back and months back, that the problem Tuchel's going to have is he knows he's not going to have time for these youngsters to come good. They've either got at Chelsea, whether you're a manager, whether you're a player, whether you're 21, 31, it's deliver now or forever hold your peace. If you don't deliver now, you're done out here, bruv. You're finished. Lock up. You're done. You're finished. They're going to get rid of you. That's the Chelsea mantra. They're not going to change. Roman isn't going to change. He's one of the most successful men in the history of planet Earth, business-wise. Why is he going to change his approach and go, right, we're just going to let managers foul for 4? That's not what they want. They want to win, and they want to win now. Pav, you're a legend. Thanks for coming on, having your say, mate. Appreciate that greatly. Sorry if I cut you off. I didn't mean to. Next up, we're going to have Pan on the show. Pan, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Who do you support, bro?
Chelsea fan, bro.
Give me your thoughts.
I'm disappointed, man.
Why?
I wanted Lampard to stay at least up to the end of the season. Come on. It's sad to see him go this way. It's kind of disappointing that we cannot back our own manager. Now the cycle restarts again. What's the future of the young players in the academy? We don't know if Tuchel would like to use those players from the academy. Likes of Gilmore, Mount, Abraham. He will want to win trophies, and I think he'll be able to.
So we're getting really bad feedback from your line. If you could call us back with some earphones in, mate, that'd be great, so I can hear from you properly. Put some earphones in, call us back. I don't think Roman cares about your academy. Let me be blunt. He don't care about your academy. He doesn't. He never has. It's there honestly, the academy at Chelsea is there to generate money. It's there to generate money. There's no doubt. Next up, we're going to go to Steve. We're going to go to Alex. Sorry, Alex CFC. Instant reaction. Lampard sacked. Tuchel in.
I think this was coming. I think the good thing, I guess, I kind of wanted Nagelsmann, but I think Tuchel can also still be a good appointment. I think he's besides him working with Thiago Silva, he was the manager who kind of made Pulisic back at Dortmund, so maybe he could also get the best out of Pulisic. I think in general, this whole thing when Lampard came in was all a type of a PR stunt to kind of help the fans. Back then it was like there was no transfer ban. There was a transfer ban. There was no many managers who wanted to come into a club without spending any money. Okay, let's bring Lampard. Yeah. Let's make it seem that as if the club is back to where it belongs. Bring these young players through. Help the club kind of still be happy and feel that there is some good moments. And then obviously he gets sacked. And I think also the amount of money that was spent, I do think there is some of that money that wasn't just spent just by Frank Lampard's decisions, but also the club's decisions to decide, okay, we need to we need to chase the pack. Let's put some more money into this club because we need to chase the pack with the other clubs. So for the next manager to come in, he would feel that he's been prepared. Look, Frank Lampard is,
I understand a lot of what you're saying. I think it makes sense. It's just Chelsea being Chelsea. Alex, thank you for calling, bro. Really appreciate that. We're going to get Pan back on now. You can call the show. The link is on the Discord server right now on the general chat page if you want to phone in. Pan is back with us. Pan, continue making your point, bro. You look really disappointed that Lampard is sacked.
Yeah, I look very disappointed. I wanted him to stay up to the end of the season so we can make a proper change. I don't want Tuchel. That guy cannot give us what we want. We want to win the Champions League again. It's been 8 years and it's a very long time. I don't think Tuchel is the right man for the job. I would have preferred we go with Luis Enrique. At least there'll be a style of play and we'll see good football as well. Chelsea wanted good football and that's why they had to go for Lampard and Sarri. Now you're bringing Tuchel in. That guy, I don't understand. Playing in the French league, anybody can win trophies with Paris Saint-Germain. What has he done in the Champions League? Nothing. Come on, man. It's a very bad decision from the board. I hope they don't regret this. I just hope we don't regret it.
Mate, good points being made there. Pan is angry. Pan is annoyed. He thinks Chelsea may regret it. Thank you. Does anybody else out there think Chelsea may regret this? That maybe they're acting a little too... I mean, I suppose proof's in the pudding. Chelsea go on in the next few years to win Premier Leagues and Champions League. They won't. If Lampard leaves and becomes a great manager in the next few years, maybe they will. Next up, Stephen. Stephen, welcome back. What do you want to say, mate?
This is why Chelsea are a big club and Arsenal aren't. Simple as that. This is what we should be doing to Arteta right now. Honestly. Fair play to Chelsea. It weren't working out. They've done the same thing that they usually do, which is not to do what Arsenal do, which is be happy with 10th. And they would rather sack their manager and get a better one in because they want to progress and they want to move forward. I do feel sorry for Lampard in a sense because you had 260 million spent, and I think that put so much pressure on him, and I think that pressure proved too much in the end. So all in all, for Chelsea, I think it's the best way they can go forward. And yeah, so it's like I said, as an Arsenal fan, I'm generally jealous in a sense.
Jealous. I get where you're coming from. I understand that. I think this is just the way Chelsea behave. They've always done it and they always will. I think Arsenal are a little bit more sort of timid in terms of doing that. It really is. Do you think Thomas Tuchel will be the right appointment?
I do think so because you got to look at also the squad they've got. The German connection he's well versed at. If you can get those players playing together and get them as a unit, then onwards and it should be onwards and upwards for Chelsea. So just because he's won trophies with PSG, right? I don't think that categorically means that he can't do what he can do at Chelsea.
No, I understand that. I think people are a little disrespectful towards him. There's no doubt whatsoever. Listen, bro, thank you for coming on, having your say. Really appreciate it, Steve. We're going to share the link in the general chat now here on YouTube and on Facebook for you guys to phone up and have your say. Hit that like button, please. 2,500 people watching. But let's get this trending, baby. Hit that like button for us right about now. Man like Ramsey in the house. Well, first of all, how are you, bro? You good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. Just, man, up to the news to see Lampard has been, set to be sacked today. Crazy.
Done. Players told not to come into training. He's finished. He's done. He's dead. I mean, do you think that's too soon? Typical Chelsea? What's your opinion, Rams?
Yeah, first of all, before I get into that, the last call that you had about Arsenal, and there's a lot of talk about Arsenal at the moment, which is why I jumped on just about Arteta. I think they're two completely different situations. I think as the general fan knew always that Chelsea sack managers on a regular basis. They didn't care when Di Matteo won a Champions League. Gave him 2 months and they sacked him. They didn't care when You know, the likes of the legends won the Premier Leagues. You know, the year after they got sacked, the biggest managers. You know, the Ancelotti, the Jose Mourinho. Abramovich has no care in that. He will sack them at will. There's no chill. And so with Arsenal and Arteta, it's not the same situation. You know, Arsenal's plan would be to give him, you know, a longer term and see what happens at the end of the season. With Chelsea, your remit is to win trophies. If you do not win trophies, it's been a year and a half now. There's no trophies, and it doesn't even look like there's anything coming anytime soon. So Roman just pulls the trigger. So I think it's two completely different situations. But yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of Chelsea fans wanted it to happen because of the Lampard legendary. They wanted him to leave with a trophy. But listen, I think he may still go on to be a good manager. But yeah, you don't get that time with Chelsea. You do not get that time.
No, mate, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, there is a model at Chelsea, and I think what's annoyed me in the last year or so have been these Chelsea hipsters that have tried to sell to us the idea that they've changed and they've gone in a new direction. They're going to be doing things differently. It's just nonsense. It's pure, unadulterated nonsense. There was no way Roman was unless Roman was going to stop spending big money. There was going to be no change in approach. We've got a man like Neeks here with us as well. Neeks, what's your thoughts on this news this morning? Lampard gone.
Can you hear me, Terry?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, listen, I can't stay long. I've got a meeting in about 10 minutes at work. But listen, I don't call for any manager to be sacked. I've never been that kind of way when it comes to football. But I have no sympathy for Chelsea fans at all. At all. Chelsea fans deserve this 100%. They have been the loudest with their smoke for Man United managers, for Arsenal managers. And they finally get their legend in, and they were sweeping all the crap under the carpet last season. And what they tend to do, they try and downplay some expectations. Oh yeah, Chelsea's going to finish 10th because we lost Hazard. And then when they finish 4th, I said, what a great job Lampard's doing. You conceded like 100 goals and lost like half your matches. Like, it wasn't that great. But because you got to a final and Solskjaer got knocked out in the semi, forget the fact that he beat Lampard 3 times before that, Lampard has proved that he's better. And Solskjaer's going to be sacked by Christmas. Now, listen, granted, the Premier League is actually a bit later, but in terms of games played, this is around Christmas time.
Yeah,
it's around just the New Year when, you know, 3rd round, FA Cup, that kind of thing. 19 games in the Premier League. This is what we were saying, that when you spend this kind of money, let's see what Lampard can do. And they swept all their crap under the carpet, and it's come back to bite them. The chickens have come home to roost. And the funny thing is, we're not surprised. As rival fans, we're like, this is Roman. Yeah, we expect it. Chelsea fans were burying their heads in the sand, thinking that Roman had changed. None of them spoke to Roman. Did Roman text you? Did he tell you he changed? No. He hired Lampard, and you thought that Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Reece James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Lampard were going to lead you into a new age. It was never going to happen. This is the Chelsea way. This is it.
Yeah. And also because of the pundits it's funny, the Sky pundits obviously, and well, all of the pundits on TV, they do seem to give them a lot more time because he's one of the, they go a bit more easy with the criticism because he's a legend. But I still think in the back of their minds they're not shocked to see that this happened because it's Chelsea. If it was anyone else, as I said, if it was Man United, it might be slightly different. But Chelsea have the reputation for 10 plus years. And the thing is, if Tuchel comes in and wins a trophy, Chelsea fans are going to be crying over Lampard. Like, it was just a great thing that they wanted to happen. But the reality is, Roman wants to win, not even just trophies, he wants to win the top trophy, the Champions League and the Premier League. So it's going to bring in the guy to do it.
They really thought they could really compete with Man United and Arsenal when it comes to our history and our heritage of giving managers time, bringing through youth, etc. Listen, this is accept it. If you accept what you are, you're going to be much happier as fans. Just accept it.
And that's it. And that's not what Chelsea. It's not what Roman is. Roman is the kind of guy. Honest to God, I say this now to Chelsea fans, no salt. If Tuchel comes in and this season wins you the Premier League and Champions League double, actually does a treble, does the treble. Let's say he does, and it's like he wins every game. Chelsea they win every match between now and the end of the season, every comp. Wow. If come next December, the same year, you're sitting 6th and you're 10 points off the top 4, he'll sack Tuchel. That is Roman. He's never, ever going to change. You don't become one of the most successful men in the world without being ruthless. When he's in an industry where he believes with our spending power, we can just always create these teams. Yes, it may never be looked at in the same romantic way as a great Man United or a great Barcelona team. I think Roman's at peace with that. I think he tried a few times and he's like, do you know what? Have you ever seen Extras with Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
And there's a scene in it where they say to Ricky Gervais, what do you want to be? Like a credible artist or rich and famous? And they basically saying it because most people don't have both. Most people are not credible actors and singers and are A-list celebrities. Normally it's one or the other, right? And I think that's the thing with Roman. Roman's like, I would love to win loads of trophies and be regarded as one, like a romantic, beautiful, like a club doing things in the right way. But when it comes to stick or twist, he's like, nah, I'd rather just win. I'd rather win than wait 5 years to get a trophy, but doing it in the kind of traditional right way. One other question. I know you've got to go soon. Guys, I've got to Nick first on this. Thomas Tuchel pretty much been confirmed as the new Chelsea manager. What's your thoughts on that, Nix?
I think they now have a chance of getting top four. I think with Lampard there, I couldn't see where the next credible win in the Premier League was coming from, let alone going top four. The way Liverpool are going, I think that the gap isn't too big. He's a good manager. He's not elite. He hasn't proved that he's won a few trophies at PSG. Those are givens for me. But getting to a Champions League final is still a good achievement. He is better than Lampard. That's 100% fact. Better than Lampard. I think he'll win. I think he'll win something at Chelsea in his time there. How long he lasts, as mentioned, we don't know. Abramovich is the boss in it. He decides how long he lasts, regardless of what you do. But I think it's a good appointment.
Yeah. How about yourself, Rams?
I mean, it's an obvious appointment, but I don't know how good it will be. Like, I'm still not like. Listen, anyone who comes from PSG, i.e., Unai Emery, can look good on a CV and winning trophies there. So I'm not convinced that is a good enough spectrum. Although I did like his management style at Dortmund, so I saw something there whilst he was there. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to get them what they want. Because yeah, top four may be good this year, but then next year, as we saw with Lampard, the demand's going to be even heavier. And so, as I'm sure Roman will spend again in the summer, how long is he going to get them to the top? And we see if Liverpool and Man City and maybe Man United next year are pushing for the top trophy, the Premier League, and Tuchel's not there, then as Terry, as you said, could be gone by Christmas. So I'm not sure personally. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's the guy.
But time will tell. Boys, thank you both for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Nice to see you. Neeks, chat to you soon, brother. All the best, mate. Yeah. Do us a favor, everyone who's tuning in. Hit the like and the share button for us right now. Smash it. Hit that like button. Share this stream on your social media platforms. Remember, we are sponsored by Manscaped, #1 leading organization in the world, not only for male grooming products, but they do a lot of great work around helping men test themselves and get through testicular cancer. So go check out their website. The link is in the description below. If you want to buy any of their products, use my promo code TFT to get 20% off. But Frank Lampard has been sacked as Chelsea manager. The official announcement from Chelsea is coming soon. Thomas Tuchel confirmed as the new Chelsea boss. Next up on the show, we are going to go to Jake Morris. Then we're going to go to Brandon. Jake, welcome to the show. What do you want to say, mate?
Hey, mate. I love the show. I'm from Australia. All I want to say is that I think that Frank Lampard last season, he overperformed heavily. However, I do think that the people previously on the show are talking out of their arse in some sort of sense that if Abramovich found a manager that was suitable and that had long-term prospect, I think that he would keep him for a reasonably long time. And as well, I think that a lot of Chelsea fans were misguided in the sense that they thought that Lampard could stay for a long time because we were signing all these young prospects. We had a great youth system last year. We brought up so many young players, Billy Gilmore, Mason Mount, Cho, all them. They all came through. And so we saw some upside here. We thought that Frank Lampard could come through, but I think we've all just been robbed here. I think that, honestly, if we gave Frank Lampard a little bit more time, maybe he could have done better, but I think Tuchel is the man. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Tuchel needs an opportunity, I think. There's question marks around him. And I think Chelsea's a great club for him to go to and try and do that. I think we'll really see what his style and system is about. Jake, thanks for coming on the show, mate. Take care of yourself, buddy. All the best. Speak to you soon. Top man, thank you. Next up, Brandon's here. Brandon's an Arsenal fan. He's not happy. What do you want to say, bro?
I'm not surprised that Frank Lampard's been sacked. I'm just surprised by how long he did actually get before he got sacked. I'm surprised that Abramovich gave him that long. I think his biggest mistake was he did really well with the youngsters that he sort of brought through the academy sort of thing last season, and I think he made the big mistake in moving away from that and going and spending loads and loads of money. And that's just added pressure to him. As regards to Thomas Tuchel coming in, he's got a ready-made squad there. He's got top class players, so he doesn't really have to be that much of a decent manager. He just has to be a real decent coach in order to get Chelsea where they should be. So I think he'll do all right. And for me, like I said it in my super chat, mate, this is the difference between Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea act like a big club. When things go wrong, they sack their manager, whilst we're sat here languishing down in 10th place, and we're happy with that. And I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit over dramatic with it all. Maybe Arteta should get a bit more time. And yeah, our model is different to Chelsea. But when you've been promised that you're going to come into an Emirates Stadium and start competing for league titles and stuff like that, and then 14 years down the line you still haven't competed for a league title, it tends to get a bit frustrating.
Oh, listen, I totally get that. I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans are reflecting your frustrations today. Brandon, thank you for coming on the show and having your say. So two things have been confirmed. That Tuchel has accepted the deal and is expected to be signing and announced today as well. Equally, it's an 18-month contract that they're providing him with. 18-month contract given to Thomas Tuchel. Very low risk. It's the rest of this season and 1 year. It's going to give him an opportunity to show what he's worth. So an 18-month contract is what's being reported. Thomas Tuchel will be the new Chelsea manager. That is a certainty, an absolute certainty. You can take that to the bank. Next up on the show is going to be, who we're going to next here. We're going to go to CFC RS. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, mate?
Can you hear me?
Perfect, bro. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I'm hearing everyone saying, this is how Romans like. Well, I think this situation in Lampard leaving is less about how Roman is so ruthless, but just how poor Frank has been. Like, the position we are is not normal. Like, we're in an abnormal situation considering that other teams have other games in hand, which can make us slip even more down the table. So that's why I'm thinking, like, it's not just about Roman's ruthless doesn't give anyone time. Like, he hasn't deserved the time of his performances, and after spending 200 million in the transfer window, like, where we are in the table is unacceptable. The last month has been unacceptable and depressing to watch, and like, he just had to go. And I'm happy we brought in a good manager like Tuchel. Whether he's the one that can get us to win the league again, that still remains to be seen. But I think it's a good decision for him to leave. Obviously, I love Frank, so it's a bit hard seeing him leave like this, but it's got to be done. Big teams do it. Real Madrid sack their managers after they win trophies. Barcelona do it. Even Man United have done it when they sacked David Moyes after one season, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho after he won a couple of trophies. So it's not just Chelsea that have been doing it. If you want to get to the top, you have to be ruthless, and this is how we're gonna do it to get to where we want to be. So yeah.
Mate, I hear you on that. I really, really do. I understand. I think you made some great points. Thanks for calling the show back. Everyone tuning in, hit the like and share button. Sign up to our Discord server as well, people. We're here for a little while longer. Lampard sacked is the news. We've got next up, Mr. Tokyo on the line. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Give me your instant reaction to Frank Lampard being sacked. Is it the right decision by Chelsea?
I think it is the right decision by Chelsea. As some people have said, I did expect it a little earlier. But at the same time, I don't know if Tuchel is the right decision. But what you just said about the 18-month contract really got my attention, because I think that's the way to go about it. And I think the main reason why they're bringing Tuchel in, from my perspective, rather than a coaching side, I think it's for a man management aspect. They did invest in the likes of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. And, at the end of the day, they can't just bench him, right? They have to get the best out of them. And I think in that matter, Tuchel can be very helpful. But other than that, yeah, I actually am surprised that they went for the sack mid-season. But at the same time, I'm not surprised considering it is Roman Abramovich, and it's you kind of have to appreciate him, right, for him to stick to his standards, taking the emotion out of the way and thinking more practically thinking. Also, he has to think about the money aspect as well. There's the pressure of that. So yes, I do think overall it is the right decision. I think maybe if they did it a little earlier, it could have helped them a little more with regards to the league table, but that's subjective.
Yeah, listen, I hear you on that. Great points, mate. Thank you very much for calling in and having your say. We're going to do some quick fire calls. Next up on the show, we've got man like David. David, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What are you saying, bro?
Terry, can you hear me?
Yes, David. What do you want to say, mate?
Terry, can you hear me?
Yes. What do you want to say?
I would say it's kind of a sad day, I would say, but I expected it to happen. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, bro. We're listening. Oh, you cut off now. CFC. We're gonna go to next. Actually, we're gonna go to Ashan here. Arsan here. How you doing, bro?
Hi, bro. How you doing?
I'm very well, mate. What's your reaction to Lampard being sacked this morning by Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel being appointed as the new manager?
I would say the writing was on the wall. Not overly sacked considering it's Roman and the way he runs the club. I do feel sorry for Frank. I think it was the right job at the wrong time. I think for him to take on such a big job, obviously for him to be offered the job in the first place, he would have been honoured to receive that offer, and it would have been very hard for him to turn down. But I think the pressures at Chelsea, you've got to be a hard-nosed manager, and you've got to be ruthless, just as ruthless as Abramovich is as their owner. Tuchel, interesting appointment. He definitely knows how to manage big characters, going by the prima donnas he manages at PSG. In terms of style, I mean, I don't know. Will he be able to make the most of the plays that he's got there, or will he have to rebuild again, which would set Chelsea back?
Yeah, do you know
in the timeline?
What I would say about that is this: he's been given an 18-month contract, so I think it's very much the case of, this is the squad you've got. Yes, we'll let you buy a player or two in the summer, but we've got an amazing squad. You've got to make this squad work. That would be my view of it. That's how I think they're going to have to react to that, bro. Thank you for your call, mate. Really appreciate all your support.
Big respect, bro.
Speak to you soon, brother. Thank you. Next up, we've got Lamin. Lamin on the show. Welcome back, bro. Lampard sacked. Tuchel in. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Hi, Terry. I am having mixed feelings at the moment right now. Obviously, with Lampard leaving, I mean, the writing's on the wall, really. He lost the dressing room. He had to go. It was just simple as that. At the same time, I'll be lying if I was saying I'm not a little bit hurt, because I do love the guy. He's a club legend, and I wanted it to work so badly for him and for the fans as well. I really wanted it to work. In regards of Tuchel, I'm not overly inspired by it, if I'm being honest, because I don't really watch too much of the French league, and from what I've seen, Unai Emery also came from PSG, and we all seen how that worked out at Arsenal. So, but I'm happy that it's just an 18 months contract for Tuchel. So we'll see how that goes. And is Tuchel really the guy to sort of make us title challenges again? Is he the guy to sort of go against the Pep Guardiolas and the Jurgen Klopps and and dare I say, the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I still can't believe United are in their position, by the way. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, Lampard.
Yeah, I hear you on that, bro. No, I do. Listen, man, great call, Lamin. It's going to be an interesting one indeed. Thank you, my bro. Next up, we're going to have CFC India. It's got hashtag Tuchel. Hashtag Tuchel in, I think. Bro, what do you want to say?
First of all, man, it is Tuchel out.
Oh,
It
Tuchel
is an
out. Yeah, I couldn't see the whole time.
absolute- It is an
Hang
absolute.
on. You're already Tuchel out.
Man, it is an absolute disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace by the club. Why hire Frank Lampard? Why hire him if you are going to treat him like every other manager? Why hire him? If you are going to hire a club legend, look at Arsenal. Look at where Man United are right now. Just look at them. Why hire a club legend if you're going to treat him like any other manager? Why do it? That means I blame the board because it shows that they are inept. It's their ineptitude to be able to stick with their plans. I blame them. I don't blame Frank. I feel sorry for him. Any manager, not just Frank Lampard, any manager being sacked during the pandemic, I will feel bad for. And I think this is a disgrace by the board. I don't care about the business. This is a football club. It has to do with emotion. It has to do with passion, man. I have nothing against Tuchel, but this is an absolute disgrace by the club.
Wow. I mean, but this is how your club's always behaved, mate. This is how Chelsea Football Club have behaved. It's how you've done business since Roman's been here. So why the outrage now?
It's look, that's the thing, right? Like Roman, because since I'll put it this way, right? I'll put it this way. I would have rather not had Frank Lampard as my manager. I feel like the board made a decision to get a club legend into the club. Yes, I know I'm not surprised by this, but I'm still very disappointed. That's my frustration here. My frustration, I don't think we were doing well. I'm not saying we were competing, contending, but at least give him till the summer. And why are you appointing Tuchel? Why? How is he going to make us any better? You think he's going to make us win the league? Because no, I strongly disagree with that. I may be proved wrong. Look, I'm being very reactionary here, but I feel like just based on people were being a little too pragmatic, a little too accepting of it. I just felt like I needed to, put my immediate thoughts out there. I may change my mind based on how Tuchel does, but I'm very, very, very disappointed with the board, I have to say.
Bro, I understand what you're saying. I really, really do. Mate, thanks for coming on the show and having your say. It's just, listen, if you're a Chelsea fan, this is just how the Chelsea board behave. It's what they do. It's what they've always done. Listen, you're entitled to your opinion. I don't think they're going to change. Tuchel will get the same treatment. There's no doubt about it. George here is a Leicester fan, says disgraceful move by Chelsea. Next up on the show, man like Josh is here. Josh, give us your thoughts, bro.
Hey, how we doing, Terry?
Yeah, I'm very well. Give me your thoughts, mate.
I actually feel for Chelsea a little bit. I mean, the appointment of a club legend is always going to be met with rose-tinted glasses by fans because, like Lampard, right up there alongside greatest midfielders of the Premier League era, no doubt. He didn't do anything at Derby, really. His play style was decent and he got them close but didn't quite get there, which at the time made me think, why is Roman bringing him in? And I thought, well, maybe that was a trendy thing, or maybe it was to stop over the gap of having the transfer ban incoming or whatever. But regardless of all of that, I've just really hope for Chelsea fans' sake that they remove the ideal of Frank as the manager and still enjoy him as Frank the player that he was, because they are two separate chapters of his life. And I would hate to see a legend of the club and the Premier League in general be tainted by a bad, well, not so much bad, but not a very successful spell as a manager.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I just think at the end of the day, one of the previous callers got it absolutely spot on. Right job at the wrong time. I get why Lampard took it, but it was just too much for him. And it would have been okay at a club that gives managers 2 to 3 years as a general rule. Chelsea don't do that. They are the most ruthless team in the Premier League when it comes to sacking managers. I understand what other callers have said, that it's more about Lampard failing, but if you're not failing, you don't get sacked. So it's just the kind of the knock-on effect, really. It is. Josh, thank you very much for coming on, having your say, mate. Really do appreciate it as ever. Everyone tuning in, smash that like button for us. Next up, we're going to have on the show, who we're going to have on next? We're going to have Matty G. Matty G's with us. What you saying, bro?
How you doing, Terry? All right?
Yeah, I'm very well. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, it's a sad day for Frank. I mean, as a supporter since 1998, it's sad to see him leave. He got the right job at the wrong time. I called it back at the end of September that his tactics weren't working, and I got greeted with a load of abuse. And I respect the man as a player. He played really well for us, and he's got a lot of character, and I think one day he will be a brilliant manager. I don't think he'll be unemployed for long, but I think this is how Chelsea operate. Some fans have got to remember this is a business as well as a football club. Abramovich has invested 250 million. These are figures that I won't see in my lifetime. I'm pretty certain nobody else will be able to achieve the amount of money that Roman Abramovich has popped into the club. I mean, if I invested 250 million pounds into a club and didn't see any trophies or any accolades, I'd be doing an Antonio Conte and throwing chairs around in the dressing room. But it's just the wrong time for him, and I wish him all the respect. Yeah, I wish him all the best, for the future, and bring on some good times. That's all I can say. But yeah, thanks Lampard for your dedication to the job.
Yeah, I hear that completely. I think everything you've said there makes complete and utter sense. Matty, thank you very much for calling the show, mate, and having your say. Really do appreciate it a lot. Next up, we're going to have Ahmed. Ahmed, welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, brother? You're on mute if you're trying to speak. Still can't hear you. Try calling back. Ashu is here as well. Ashu, welcome to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say, mate?
Yeah, I'm a United fan, Terry. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. What do you want to say?
I just want to mention. I think it's a disgrace to have a manager sacked like within a period of 18 months. Like I don't think so. Sari was any worse than what Frank Lampard is. I think they should have stuck with Sari, and maybe like in the future they could have gone for something else. Because instead of having a manager for a period of 18 months or 1 year when they had a transfer ban, I don't think so. It's at all like it's not a better option to have Tuchel because I saw a few games last year in the Champions League against Atlanta, Leipzig. None of the games they had Neymar in the team to pull them out of the dirt. Basically, in Chelsea they don't have such players. Tuchel doesn't have a player like Neymar who can create a magic in 1 second. He needs to coach. He needs to adapt, and it's Premier League. It's not going to be like way too easy a cakewalk for him. It won't be. So I don't think so it's a right decision to sack a manager mid-season. It's a disgrace on the club, but I think the history tells that why they do it more often than not.
I hear you on that, bro. Thank you very much indeed for calling in, my friend. Next up, Brittany Blue is with us. Brittany Blue, Lampard sack, Tuchel in. Give us your views.
I'm having a ball out here. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting for this forever. But to be honest, to be fair, it's kind of sad because the way he left and having tension with Marina allegedly and all the drama behind it. But I'm not necessarily surprised. He's very stubborn in general. So he had to go, and Roman does what he does best, fire managers. And Thomas Tuchel is coming in, and I can't wait. I can't wait to actually see tactics, like good football that I'm witnessing through the rest of the season. And to be honest, this kind of, if we were gonna sack him, this is probably the best time. We could have sacked him during the summer, or before the season, or we could have sacked him when the season ended. But I don't trust that. I need my top four. I need Champions League football. But Thomas Tuchel, a Champions League finalist, experience, a tactician. He's a great fit.
Yeah, I think he will be. I think he gets a lot of disrespect as a manager, which is a little bit strange. What do you make of the 18-month contract? Very short term. Having said that, the average length of time a Chelsea manager lasts is 17 months. So maybe it's just a financial decision to not have to pay out on a 5-year contract if he's sacked after 18 months.
I kind of want to say no, but yes, because I know he's gonna win something. Like I truly do believe that. Like, so if he wins a Champions League, I think they might extend it. But see, I'm not surprised with that 18-month. I thought it was gonna be because at first it was 4.5 years. I was like, so this might have been planned if it's 4.5 years, but if it's 18 months, as long as I get silverware, I need to, because Lampard already had a drought for a year that didn't give us nothing. I mean, I know Anthony Taylor licked the balls at Arteta for the FA Cup one, but hey.
I hear you on that. Britt, thank you very much for calling in. Always a pleasure. Speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Final caller we're going to get on the show. Everyday Same's with us. Everyday Same, welcome back. Lampard's gone. Tuchel's in. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Well, he was calendar material before a ball was kicked, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean? You get 250 million from Roman. You've got to win the Champions League. So you ain't going to win the Champions League, so you finished.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, everything you just said there is Roman's approach pretty much in a nutshell. What I've really enjoyed in this last year is listening to Chelsea fans try and convince everybody that it's all changed.
They've changed. Oh, yeah, we're like you now. We're like you. It's like, we don't have to hear that anymore, do we? It's like, you're not like us. You're not like us, bruv. But listen, don't worry about Lampard, yeah? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good job that Chelsea have got money because his ego is going to be intensive care for a long time. But I just spoke to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before, yeah? And he told me that he spoke to Frank last night and personally organised some PE teacher jobs for him. So when the kids go back to school, Lampard's going to be employed again.
That's funny. I like that. Well, I actually think on a real level, I think Lampard's going to be a talented manager. He took this job too early in hindsight. But if you look at Ole hasn't won anything yet, but you can go away, you can regroup, you can come back, and hopefully Frank Lampard will do that. I just look at Chelsea. Chelsea's a kind of job, realistically. I think you should only be taking the Chelsea job when you're in and around your peak, because it's nobody lasts there. Like, you think Ancelotti and Jose, two of the most successful managers in that club's history, they didn't last. Di Matteo, club legend, Champions League and FA Cup winner, couldn't last. So it's like,
it's a failed thing, isn't it?
Of course, every manager of Chelsea is going to get sacked. And I know that Sarri didn't officially. That's because they got to touch Chelsea. They were in the process of sacking him, and the club come in and said, "Oh, can we want to hire him?" So they got compensation for it. But every Chelsea manager since Roman's been there has lost their job, whether they've been successful or not. It's inevitable.
There's only so long you can come to work every day with the sword of Damocles hanging over your head. The worst thing is that the guy bought 7 or 8, 9 players or whatever. So if you actually do the maths, that Chelsea team should gel by the mid to end of February. So whoever they bring in next, and you say it's the Tuchel guy, whatever, by the end of February, Chelsea are going to be killing it, because that's just how long it takes. I know Frank lost the dressing room, but believe me, Chelsea by the end of February, Chelsea are going to be killing it.
Mate, they very much could be. Everyday Same. Always a pleasure to speak, mate. Chat to you again soon, man. All the best. Everyone who's tuned in today, thank you. Do me a favor, go check out. Starting a trend right now. It's starting to get some big traction. I always knew it would. The Thomas Tuchel to Chelsea video that we published last week, all about his sort of tactical breakdown, everything he does, etc., etc. Go check that video out once you're done here. In fact, what I'll do, if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to share the link right now in the comment section, so you guys can go and check that out. Whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're watching on YouTube, go give that a little check out as well. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. Lampard sacked, Tuchel's in.